Do you know how to caramelize onions? I mean, you might think that you do, but you're probably wrong. Now let's get to the video. First, find a good spot to dig a hole, and you're gonna wanna dig 3 to 4 feet downwards. This will give plenty of room for these onions to grow. I went ahead and took some of this onion powder and sprinkled it just like little seeds in the ground. Miracle-Gro is great because it actually helps speed up the growth of the onions. Typically, they take about 2 to 5 years to reach full maturity, but this will add nutrients and speed up the process. Ketchup actually has enzymes which rapidly increase the growth of most plants. Squirt some on top of the onion powder, cover that with soil, and now we just wait patiently.
2,000 years later.
Now it's time to dig these onions up. It's always really fun to see what variety of onions you'll get from the onion powder. We ended up getting these white ones, and we were actually really lucky. When I kept digging, I found these little baby ketchups. You never really know what you're gonna get, so I was just happy that these even sprouted. Back in the kitchen, go ahead and open up your bag of onions. I was pretty excited. I actually got 2 really nice sized onions from the garden. These did have a little deformity to them, these nasty little hairs on top, which are pretty bitter, so just take a pair of scissors and cut as much off as you can. These onions have been underground for so long, we need to aerate them. Go ahead and cut a few 3-inch diameter slits around the onion. Then you're gonna wanna stab the onion about 70 to 90 times to fully open up all of the onion's pores. Go ahead and put a pan on very low heat. You can cover these with an aluminum lid, and you're gonna sprinkle about 7 grams of kosher salt on top, as well as just a cup of plain old drinking water, and I promise we will come back to these guys later. Now, while those onions are left aerating, we can start working on our onion glaze. Take 1 fresh bag of water, add that directly to a blender. Go ahead and add 1 entire onion to the blender, throw the lid on there, and you're gonna whip that around at about medium to medium-high speed until the consistency kind of looks like an onion that's been blended with water. And the flavor should taste like onion and water. If it doesn't, you've probably done something wrong. Most people throw the onion skin away, which is pretty ridiculous because there's actually a lot of nutrients and crunch within the skin. So go ahead and roll those up into a tight little log, and you're gonna do a chiffonade cut all the way across the skin. You'll be left with very beautiful little ribbons, and we'll use these later in the caramelization process. 2 flavors that go really well together are apples and onions. So I went ahead and did a very rough chop on these apple flavored rings. You don't want them too finely diced. You do want nice little chunks so you get bursts of flavor later. Go ahead and add some onion powder to that, mix to combine, and feel free to set those guys aside until we need them later. Now, I was a little nervous before I took the cover off these onions, but they were perfect. The skins completely melted away and they were fully aerated. To help these onions caramelize, we need to add some sugar. Add about 40 grams of pure corn syrup, as well as a 1/2 cup of white sugar, and stir to combine. Now, the rest is pretty straightforward. So go ahead and add the apple crisps that were dusted in onion powder and stir those guys to combine. We've got the chiffonade onion skin, as well as the onion glaze that we blended earlier. Now, we do want to intensify the onion flavor, and the best way to boost that is to add onion powder. Now, typically, you'd only want about 7 to 9 tablespoons, but here, we really want an intense onion flavor, so I ended up putting the entire bottle in. I was still pretty disappointed later. You could barely taste the onion flavor, so make sure you do add enough when you make it. Go ahead and stir that to combine all the ingredients, and when it turns a really beautiful golden color like this, the onions are perfectly done. For a quick, simple dinner, take a small handful of your favorite variety of dried pasta, add a few tablespoons of the caramelized onions, and just like that, you've got caramelized onion pasta. Now it's time to craft a homemade cocktail. Start off by adding 2 ounces of lime juice directly to the shaker, and you're gonna mix that together with about 1 ounce of fermented black raspberry puree. Then you can add some rum. For me, I'll add 2 to 3 ounces. If you want to add more, that's totally fine. It's just rum. When it comes to the caramelized onions, you want to add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of them. Do not add too much because it will definitely overpower the drink. Give that guy a good shake until all the ingredients have been thoroughly mixed, and then strain that into your glass of choice. Overall, I was pretty happy with the overall taste of the drink, but needed a little less rum and a little more onion. Oh, and before I forget, it's not a cocktail without a little garnish on the side, so don't forget to add a little onion on there. We want to make this look pretty. Nice! Nothing reminds me more of my grandma's house than stuffed onions. These are pretty simple. Just cut the core out of the onion and stuff the inside with caramelized onions. You can eat them just like this or bake them for maximum onion flavor. If you need a quick appetizer, just slice some onions into chip-like pieces, then take your caramelized onions and smother it all over the top. And just like that, you've got onion chips. Now, these are always a party favorite. People tell me all the time how much they absolutely love them. On to breakfast, which is of course the most important meal of the day, so you should try this caramelized onion toast. For sweetness, add your favorite jam or jelly. Here I happen to have some boysenberry in my fridge. Then I added a really nice slather of those onions on top. Overall, it came out pretty good, but I would have thrown it into the oven to caramelize the caramelized onions on top because they really weren't caramelized enough. Take some broccoli, add some onions, and you've got broccoli and onions. One of my childhood favorites is caramelized onion tea. Start by taking a standard 4 by 6 inch tea bag and add about 1.5 to 2 ounces of the caramelized onion mixture. Make sure that tea bag is sealed properly so you don't have any onion chunks floating around in your tea. Then start teabagging the living out of that mug. Go ahead and take a sip. Ah, memories. You can also add these to soups. If you've got friends coming over for a barbecue, try these caramelized onion shish kebabs. Add the onions to the skewer, shape them however you like. Nice! Thank you so much for watching these videos. It has been a blast to film them and all the support that I've gotten from all my viewers. I got new videos and new content coming every single week, so make sure to leave a comment below of some stuff you would like to see. I need new ideas for recipes. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button below to make sure you see every single video when it comes out. All right, I love you guys. Bye.